Podgram.
You see, you're on fire today.
Sitting here in the dark, I realized I didn't turn the lights on.
The Podgram with Tom and Christie.
It's sad that this is the world that we live in.
Here, let me stop and tie my shoe right in front of you so you can't drive.
The Podgram.
All of a sudden, I hear...
Well, I don't really care.
Join the conversation. 855-PODGRAM.
Bust your ass.
Yeah.
The Podgram with Tom and Christie starts now.
Good morning. Welcome to the Podgram, broadcasting live on YouTube and also on TuneIn. You can listen to us on TuneIn anytime you want to. And the reason we're not doing it on Facebook Live is because Facebook Live, well, you know, it kind of sucks. And the reason for that is because they limit you to a cumulative 4 hours. That's why we're not doing YouTube Live right now, so I'm sorry. And in addition, if you would like to participate in the live chat, you'll have to go to our website at thepodgram.com and do it there. Right now, though, let's segue over and say hello to our good friend Christie.
Well, good morning.
Now, I'm not sure I'd put the good in the morning, but...
I am like Nick of time this morning.
You know, I think it's funny because I as well, with the computer problems, you had weather-related issues.
I did. In fact, sorry, I'm adjusting myself there.
One must adjust oneself.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to adjust myself.
I'm just hanging out. Yeah, it's funny because you don't realize the number of button pushes that have to happen in the last 5 seconds of the preceding show on TuneIn and the beginning of this one, and how hard it is sometimes to synchronize the beginning of this show to the end of the last show on TuneIn so that it sounds seamless.
Yeah.
And the most that we get is like a couple of seconds of dead space between them. You know, and at the last second, I'm like, did I push everything? Did I push everything? Did I push everything? Did I open every app that I'm going to have? Did I open it? And with 3 seconds left, I did not have everything open. And I was not recording. And I was, and so.
Oh, no.
I got an email this morning. I want to start off. We've got so much stuff to do today, and it's probably not even going to make it in an hour.
Oh, absolutely. Because, I mean, you came jam-packed with stuff. I came jam-packed with stuff. I barely made my ass in this chair today. I mean, we're not even 3 minutes in, and I'm already swearing. I
know. Well, yeah, we were.
I kept my kids home from school today. Why? Because we just got power at 7:20 this morning.
Yes.
It is blowing around here like I'm expecting Dorothy and Toto to be furling any second.
We did have tornadoes in North Carolina last night from that same storm that affected you guys.
Woo, baby.
Yeah. I do want to step aside really quickly and say thank you to my wonderful wife, Mel, who brought me the gallon of coffee just before we went on this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you. She's like the most awesome woman. The weekend for me was very vehicular related.
Thank you to your Amazon for hooking me up.
Oh, you got your beverage this morning. That's good. That's good.
Yes.
You're very welcome.
Scared the crap out of my dog, and he's very fluffy now.
Yes. Well, anytime you need anything. Oh, because of the shampoo. Yes. All right. And I got a wink for that. That was...
Because my husband said last night we were laying on the floor and he's like, how bad is it that I don't want to go to work tomorrow? And I said, why? He goes, I just want to stay here and play with the dog.
And see my wife
who
only puts makeup on for Tom.
He's so fluffy.
Yeah, a couple of new things for me this week is I don't care who sees me vaping now.
Oh, good.
It used to be
because
that I would.
It's about time.
It was, because the thing is, I used to switch over to
our show.
Yeah, well,
if they don't like it, screw them.
And you know what? I don't vape in places that you can't smoke because out of respect for people. And not only that, but every time somebody in public sees me vaping, they're like, that's going to kill you faster than cigarettes are. Yeah, glad you read the propaganda. Because let me tell you something. I'm not uneducated when it comes to the electronic cigarette device. I am not somebody who just said, oh, that's pretty cool, and just got it yesterday. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, so weekend was vehicular weekend for me. I ended up going off buying the used taxi cab.
Yay!
I did. It dries good. It's pretty clean. It just has this big red stripe down the side and holes on the roof where the sign used to be.
Yay, new bitch fan.
We got to come up with a name for this one. I'll have to send you some pictures of it so we can name it.
You did. You sent me the one picture.
I did. It was raining, and that's why you didn't get multiple. We had that storm. And Steve was so cute. Steve's the 3-year-old, for those who don't know. And he was looking out the window in the lightning, and he kept asking me if I turned it on. Dad, did you turn it?
You turned on the lightning?
Yeah.
Aww.
And then when it went away, he said, turn it on, Dad. Turn it back on.
See, that is the beauty of parenting, honest to God.
Yeah.
Because I swear to you, if you do it right, kids honestly think that the only reason the sun came out today was because you got up early to let it out.
And Steve is just like that. As a matter of fact, I fell asleep on the couch last night. We have a magic couch that as soon as I sit down in it, I fall asleep. And it may not be the couch. It may just be that I'm doing so many other things that if I stop, I just have like
exhaustion.
I have narcolepsy. I'm sitting there and I start the TV show. I was like, so Mel was saying how cute Steve was because when I was sleeping, he wrapped himself around my leg and put his arms around and just laid on my leg while I was sleeping.
Aww.
And I thought that was funny. I want to talk about a client that we have, because I do engineering stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about an email that I got. Now, this particular client, the very first time I ever went out there last year, told the guy that now I'm an independent contractor. Mm-hmm. I'm not employed by the engineering firm. I'm an independent contractor. He can send me out on a case-by-case basis. And when we started our agreement, he said to me, if there's ever a client that you go to and you don't want to go back to that client again, you just tell me. And you don't have to, right?
Right.
Well, this particular client was one of the first ones I went to, and I said, you know what, Sam? I don't want to ever go back there again. Because the guy, he's creepy, right? Well, he's cheapy. Did you ever see the movie My Cousin Vinny?
Yes.
Remember the state's attorney, the DA? That down home, hey, well, you ain't from around here, are you, boy? Kind of. That's who this guy is. He looks like him and he acts like him. Southern Baptist. He's running a preacher thing on his radio station. Look, in this radio station, it's like 50 watts. You can hear it 10 miles away. That's it. And he's always complaining that it doesn't sound as good as the 100,000 watt radio stations that, come from Raleigh. I'm like, well, because they paid $6,000 just for their audio processor, and you paid $5,000 for your whole effing radio station.
Because you bought yours at Radio Shack.
Well, pretty much. Pretty much.
And they have a real one.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so, I've had transportation problems for a while.
Yes.
The vans have been broken down. I was upset because the guy who was going to fix the bitch van promised it to me by Thursday. And it's
which Thursday?
This past. Right. He didn't specify. Yep. We'll get him in there first of the week. Didn't say what week.
Yeah.
Saw him last Sunday, not yesterday, but last Sunday I saw him. I was over there taking measurements to build a toolbox shelving unit in the back, and he showed up over at the shop on Sunday, and I thought, well, it's really kind of odd to see you out here. He's like, oh, well, I didn't expect to see you either. And he says, but we'll get yours in there tomorrow, and we'll get it working on, and we'll get you taken care of. Well, I get up there on Wednesday, and when I show up Wednesday afternoon to get something out of it, they hurry up. Oh, to put the computer in the other van, right?
Right.
Yeah. You mocking me?
No, I was just saying the guy's like,
yeah.
You turn on the light and he scurries,
That's exactly. And two guys came out and jump-started the other van off and hurried up and got it into the bay. They looked at it with the flashlight, and that's where it's sat ever since.
I'm sorry. The earthquake is happening from my eye roll.
I know, right? Things are coming off the wall. I can feel the wind off the eye roll. So he says, okay, look, we'll have it done for you tomorrow. No problem. That was going to be on a Thursday. And then I went by on Friday to get the battery out of it because it needs replaced. And I needed to get the battery and the core out of it. So Friday, he wasn't even open. There was nobody there. And I was so mad I was ready to drag it out of there right then and there. But the only reason I didn't is because he had it surrounded with other vehicles. So
locked in.
Yeah.
To boot.
Yeah. So he's going to get there today and find that it doesn't have a battery in it because it's in the back. It's in my new bitch van out there. The new bitch. That's the new. Okay, so all right. So I got this client.
Oh, we should call it the side piece.
It's funny. What kind? You're gonna have to make me some kind of a hat for this one, like you did the last one. I don't know what we'll do this time. There's got to be some kind of a theme hat for that. I got to figure out what this.
Well, Andy commented today that I look very Jersey Shore today.
You do.
So I'm channeling my.
Let's get
inner
a close
Snooki.
up on that.
I'm channeling my inner Snooki this morning.
It's funny. I don't know who that is, but
You don't know who's.
no. You know what? Do I have time for that? Do I have time?
Okay. She's like 5 foot tall, and 3 inches of that is hair.
I kind of gathered that was the sort of character.
And it was a reality TV show where there was a big bunch of these Italian-born people who lived large, had a lot of spray tan, and they lived by the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Term.
Makes sense, sure.
And they partied hard, drank a lot, got into fights, got into trouble, and
Yeah. So
fist pumped a lot.
yeah. Well, in any case, you look marvelous this morning.
Yeah,
Considering-
very Jersey Shore.
Considering you pulled it all together in like 8 minutes after the power came back on.
Yeah.
Kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
But, I think you're gorgeous whether you're made up or not, so it doesn't make any difference.
Well, you should have seen the before. I mean, I could have scared the fur off a goat before. It was bad.
I got a new one. You always come up with these hilarious snatch a trout out of a lake thing. I was talking to my buddy about some girl that he knows, and he goes, "Man, she's ugly as homemade soap." It's funny. I was like, dude, I'm totally.
Well, I think I scared the bus driver because she came rolling up, and I heard meep meep because she's got to stop, and she was stopping at the neighbor's house because it was just part of our street and a couple of rows over, and it was a very selective patch of us that had no power.
Yeah.
So the district has school.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of us. So our neighbors did the same thing. They didn't send their kids to school either because none of us had power till 7 something this morning.
Right.
So I hear her next door, meep, meep. So I'm like, I don't want to make her stop and beep the house again.
Yeah.
So here I come. I pop my head out of the garage because I'm sitting in the garage with the door partially open with the car running because I have to charge my phone.
And you said, "They're not coming." Ah! They hauled
And
it.
I'm wearing my bathrobe. My hair's all ratted up at the ball, looking like a pom-pom on the top of my head.
Yeah.
And I've got my glasses on, no makeup on my face. And I come like lurching out of the garage like Swamp
Dragging
Thing.
one leg behind.
Pretty much, yeah, like half dragging a dead body. And I'm like, they're not coming.
Get out of my yard.
And she's like, I have 4 children on the bus today. Why do they have school?
Now, here's what I don't get about that.
Yeah.
We had a hurricane. But by the way, I probably should open first of all, the chat room that I promised I would open 15 minutes ago. But here's the thing. We Jen had some tree problems in the storm last night. I saw, you sent me the picture, and the tree is like, the trunk is snapped off, and the tree is like 10 feet away from the trunk.
It fell on the house, which, by the way, today is her first day back to work.
Oh, very cool.
So it's like, could it have happened any other day?
Right. Right.
And then yesterday, another tree limb in the same yard fell on Jim's work car.
Right.
And dented the hood and smashed the windshield.
Wow.
And then last night at 1 a.m., the whole trunk rotated and fell.
Yeah.
I guess.
I saw that it didn't just like in my case, in the hurricane, the whole root ball let go of the ground.
Yeah.
And the whole thing went over. But this thing here, it snapped off a trunk of a tree that looks like it's at least 12 inches, thick.
And it fell on their older daughter's bedroom.
Yeah.
And right behind that is their bedroom.
Yeah.
Woke Jen up out of a solid sleep at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, and their younger daughter slept right through it.
That sounds like some of the crap that I would pull.
The Podgram with Tom and Christie. Join the conversation. 855-PODGRAM.
Quarter after right now on the Podgram. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Wow, I have so much bitching to do, but I haven't even gotten started yet because we're talking about Jen's place that got ravaged by the tree. Oh, that brings back memories. Yeah, well, the tree came through my place. It came right through the studio and destroyed everything. And
don't go. I have PTSD from that.
I know. Well, you know. And the kids do. Every time it starts raining, they all start like, what are we going to do? Like, just, don't worry. All the trees fell over last time. We don't have any more. It's no big deal. And so, yeah. So I completely get the whole tree thing, and that's no good at all. But we had last night, Steve wanted me to turn the lightning back on after all that happened. But, okay, so I get an email. One of my independent contractor, I'll just call him my boss because he does pay me and he does send me on places. One of his stations went off the air because he's cheap and he never bought the items that I said he needed to stay on the air reliably in bad weather. Mm-hmm. Instead, he went back and told my guy, well, I think he's trying to rip me off. He's dishonest. I just don't trust him. Good enough. Which makes me wonder, why does he want me to come back out to his radio station all these other times if he thinks I'm And then the last time I was out there, he sent his employee to shadow me. It was after hours because I agreed to go out there. After hours.
You've told us a little bit about him before.
Yeah, well, yes, we've heard about him before. He's the guy he's the guy that MapQuested me new directions to his business to save mileage, but had no idea where I lived and missed it by about 40 miles.
You should have hushed. You would have gotten more miles.
Well, you know what? As it ends out, now here's the fun part. The route. If I drive to the beginning of the route that he specified, it's actually higher miles than the way I was going. It's more miles.
Hey,
but somehow he managed to call my guy and say, "Well, just don't charge me for it. I don't get to charge for mileage anymore."
Really?
So yeah, that's like half of my pay for going out there.
No.
Yeah. So, and then over the weekend, Friday, I think it was Friday, maybe Thursday, he said, when are you going to come out and take care of X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I'm working on getting my vehicle fixed. I'll get out there as soon as I can. Well, can't you rent a car? Okay, so let me make sure I understand. You don't want to pay me mileage. You don't want to pay my hourly rate. You send your employees around to shadow me to make sure I'm not wasting time on your dime. You complain about the rate I charge. You accuse me of lying about how many hours I was out there. You find me to be reprehensible, dishonest, and a crook and a thief. And I'm supposed to just jump right up and go see the people at Enterprise, rent a car, pay more money to come out there and see you and fix your derelict broken crap, which, by the way, I told you a year ago was going to break. This is the same guy that every time something breaks, he tries to find a way to blame it. Well, Tom was out here and he must have done something. This is like people that go to the auto mechanic shop and say, well, listen, you put new brakes on my car 6 months ago. Now the air conditioning's broken. It must be something you did. Two completely unrelated things. Oh, it must be you because you're the last one that touched it. Why do people think that just because somebody worked on their stuff, they now have a lifetime warranty against defects and brakemanship?
See, now I'm the polar opposite. When the thing happened with my car and we had the weird pull to the left.
Yeah.
I was terrified that it wasn't something that they did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got pen on my finger.
Oh. All right.
Don't mind me.
I'm just licking my fingers for just no
don't
random
mind
reason.
me.
I'm licking my fingers because there's not a window nearby, so just
there's no paste.
No paste for me to eat right here.
Andy used it all for slime.
I bought a gallon of Elmer school glue.
Slime?
No. They're making clay with with spackling compound, glue, and I don't really know what. The lady at Lowe's looked at me and she goes, I was buying spackling joint compound and a gallon of glue. And she just looked down and she looked at me and I looked down and I looked at her and I said, listen, I know what the Mountain Dew's for.
Yeah.
But the other stuff?
No clue.
It's outside of my. I'm not on the committee of that equipment.
Not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, not in my. I'm not doing that. Yeah. So I don't know. But I can bet it's going to be messy and sticky. and it's going to get all over. So that's all I know about that. And she laughed. So I get an email because of the storms last night. I guess he's off the air.
Oh.
And he wants to know when I can come and fix. And he implies in his email that had I come out earlier and hooked up his new equipment, that he wouldn't be off the air. Now, remember, this is the same guy who told me about his wonderful engineer in Virginia that comes down and does stuff for him. Where the hell's that guy? Listen, if you think I'm a liar and a cheater and that I'm ripping you off and you don't trust me and you don't like me, clearly you've got no respect for my services, ability, or my time. Clearly you have, you don't respect anything I do for you. Why are you not calling that dude? Because he seems to have a bag full of unicorn dust and butterfly juice that he can just sprinkle on everything and it works perfectly. Why are you not calling that guy? Oh, because he's too expensive.
Because you love being the second choice.
Yeah. Because he charges the rate that I'm supposed to charge, but he actually gets it. But see, with my guy, I guess there's a relationship between the two of them that goes back beyond me ever having been doing any work for them. And he feels like, oh, well, they're friends of mine, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're not my friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends with the guy. He's a shyster. He comes wheeling up in his BMW, crying about every single penny. And it's the absolute truth what they say, by the way. Those who pay the least want the most.
That's true.
I have another client who, through the same company, through my independent contractor, we'll just call it Big Tower Broadcasting, because that's my company name that I do Sam stuff under. I have another client that I go out to who is further than this shyster, my cousin Vinny, attorney guy. I go out there. It takes a long time for me to do anything for him because it usually involves a third party that I have to be on the phone with because of some piece of equipment that he's bought that's still under warranty, and I need their tech support because if I open it up, then it's the warranty's void, right? He pays me. He never complains. He thanks me over and over and over again for the work that I do. And the last time I went out there, he gave me a custom coaster set.
Aw.
It was customized with my family name. It says, here's to good times with the Mogs or something like that is printed on the coasters, right? And he gave me a check for $150. Just to say,
payment?
Yeah, this was not payment for what I did. This is just his way of thanking me for the work I did through the year.
Gratitude?
Yes.
What is that?
See, I'll rent a car to go work on that guy's stuff because he's worth it. But this other dude, he wants everything for nothing, and every time he calls up, he's like, well, Tom must have screwed something up because, otherwise it'd be working. I know
because if you do right by people, then in theory, in the way that karma is supposed to work, if you do right by people, then it comes back. Good comes around to you.
Well, I basically wrote him an email this morning saying, listen, I'll come out provided I get my new van registered legally today. I'll come out like I promised I would and get you back on the air. But you need to call Sam, which is the dude that I work for. You need to call Sam and just have him send you somebody else in the future because I'm not coming back. Today will be my last. Or you can call Magical Unicorn Boy up in Virginia and have him. I'm not even sure why you're waiting around for me when you got him in the wings.
Precisely.
You think I'm such a waste of skin and time. I'm not sure why you're even wanting me back out there again, especially when you think I'm going to steal your transmitter or whatever.
Which is physically impossible.
So, I probably could. It's very small. But at the end of the day, why doesn't he get somebody else? I mean, if he hates the work I do so bad and he thinks I'm so, unreliable and crooked, why does he even want me back out there? So I just basically wrote him an email that says, hey, if you think I'm so unreliable and shady, why do you want me back out there? So I'm going to pull the plug on our relationship and say, I'll come out today to try to get you back on the air. But this is the last visit. I'm not coming back again. You're going to have to find somebody else. And so I was drafting that email for the last hour before the show began today. And so there you go. That's what that's all about. Over the weekend,
I had to excuse my child.
I see. Where's your kids?
They did the call, and then I guess the nurse is saying that everybody's calling out today.
Yeah.
So she said, I'll put him in as an excused. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because it would have been an unexcused absence. And
I get it. I get it. Yeah. Well,
I love her, though. She's awesome.
When the hurricane came here, we didn't have power for 2 weeks. We have
a generator, so not good.
I do have a generator, but we were trying to use it to run the camper we were living in at the time.
Yeah.
Kids still went to school. Get your ass to school.
Well, but see, when I called the bus garage and I said, whose idea was it to send these kids to school when the bus had to go in the opposite lane of traffic like 6 times on one road?
Yeah.
To avoid the downed limbs and the debris in the road. Yeah,
it's a hazardous situation anytime.
And she said, the girl in the garage said, listen, I've been fielding these phone calls since like the crack of dawn.
The crack of ass. Well, and that's the other thing.
The schools have heat. The schools have the ability to do free breakfast, which a lot of people depend on.
Yeah.
The schools have the ability to do full lunch for everybody. The schools are safe in the event of severe, urgent, or immediate weather.
Well, as safe as they can be.
I mean, how many people are going to be without childcare in that instant?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. I don't necessarily 100% agree with it, but I made the choice to keep my kids home because they were going to be tiny little asshats because they didn't go to bed until midnight.
They were going to be half baked anyway, so why bother, right?
I mean, they were going to be like misbehaved kind of jerk faces because they didn't go to bed till midnight.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. And you guys must have had a pretty severe storm up there. You guys must have been.
It's still kind of whipping. I mean, the winds are finally kind of calming down.
Oh,
do
you see the sun shining in over here? The sun shining in. It's almost 60 degrees now, which is enough.
I mean, they were saying that it was going to be pretty severe.
Yeah, yeah. We had tornadoes in the state. Now, okay, let me go back. Over the weekend, there was some missile attacks that took place. Actually, it was on Friday. There were some missile attacks that took place over in Syria.
Oh, we kicked some Syrian tush this weekend.
Right. And it's funny because the reports say that when they were firing back on us, but they were firing at nothing because they had no way of knowing what they were shooting or where it was going. But this is kind of what happened. The Syrians used chemical weapons. Yeah.
I just had this picture of Urkel going.
Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah.
Like that's what they were doing. They were just lobbing stuff.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, they were throwing rocks at the sky. That's pretty much what they were doing. So here's
not funny.
And by the way, I know it wasn't just the U.S. that was shooting at these people, because here's what they did. They were using chemical weapons against their own people, women and children. And, the United Nations got together and said, we just need to shut them down. And so we did. And now the interesting part was I was looking at we'll call the new van B2, Bitch 2. I was looking at B2 over in this guy's backyard, which is like 3 air miles from the military base, big Fort Bragg military base. And we were standing there watching them fire these rockets on Friday evening.
The Tomahawk missiles.
The missiles. We were watching those bad boys. And I'm going to tell you right now, it turns out I'm pretty chickeny.
Which, by the way, in preparation for this, I did share a video from CNN News of the Tomahawk missiles being launched directly from a carrier off of the USS Monterey.
Yeah.
In retaliation for an apparent chemical weapons attack. So if you want to check that out, go over to thepodgram.com and check out our Twitter feed. And
while you're there, hop in on the live chat because I'm awfully lonely and there's crickets over there.
Well,
for those who don't know,
Jen's at work, so
yeah. For those who don't know, we cannot see the YouTube chat right now. I did order up a new computer, which is going to make it possible to see that. But for right now, yeah. $1,500 worth. But anyway, so if you want to,
Syria.
If you want to interact, that's how you do it in chat. Is go to thepodgram.com, click on the live chat, click here button that has. Is that called a boolean? The little thing over your head. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, That's how you do it.
Oh.
So I'm over there looking at B2 and these missiles, and they were so freaking. It wasn't even dark out yet. It was dusky. It was getting dark, and these things were so bright they were making shadows of us on the ground during the day from 3 miles away. And
they're huge.
And you would see it go with no sound, and then like 20 seconds later, you'd hear. With this, like when they break the sound barrier, and man, leaves were blowing. I don't know that those were actually the missiles that were being fired at Syria, but the timeline matches up. And they can shoot stuff from right there on the base. They can right there from their lawn chair without even having to get out there and go into the danger zone. Right, which is incredible. Yeah. It's like great big RC missiles. HD video, the whole deal. But those things were nasty loud. Scary bright. And of course, I had Steve with me. He's like, "What's that, Daddy?" I scared. I want to go see that. I scared. He was climbing the side of the truck like Spider-Man. I scared. Get me in the truck, And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's a pretty massive display of power right there. And so I'm trying to research and find out if those were actually the missiles that were fired, or some of the missiles that were fired at Syria. I believe they were, because the timeline. You'll never find out. I know. So that was pretty weird. But then I came back, and at the time I didn't even know what they were doing. I just thought they were like doing some kind of maneuvers or whatever. And then the guy that I was over there looking at B2, the guy that owned it, says, they got something for Syria. He knew all about what was going on. I have been so involved in my own world lately that I have no idea what's going on in the news. But then I came back and I saw a posting about something to do with strike on Syria. And there's a group, a hate book group called Truth Seekers. And I went there. And of course you have basically what it is. It's a bait group, where the liberals bait the conservatives and vice versa, and they just argue back and forth all the time. And some of the, and of course, I've never met a liberal that didn't believe in what they were saying. Like, for example, one of the things is, what will we get for bombing Syria besides more debt and a possible long-term conflict? Obama needs congressional approval. I saw a lot of commentary that said things about, why don't we mind our own business? Why don't we stay out of the affairs of others? I'd like to address that. Absolutely. I'd like to address that, because this, here's the deal. The world, all the countries of the world, you've got several of them that would rather have control over more than they have, right? And so they'll go and they'll pick on a smaller country and try to take them over. If the UN, and this is another funny comment that was made that I saw. It's like, why are we rushing to the aid of the UN? They need to take care of their own country. The UN is not a country. This is the kind of blathering stupidity that they're fighting with. Why do we have to go to the aid of the UN? They have their own, they should take care of their own country. Oh, we became the United Nations because of a little thing called World War I and II, you moron! It's like, if you're a Trekkie, it's like the United Federation of Planets, where they all work together for one common good. And because people who understand, look, nobody likes war. Nobody wants to hear about. Because Hitler. That's why. Because so we come along and we come together and we defend these little defenseless people, because what happens is, if you just let them go and you let them, the big boys bully the little boys, and you let them, take over, well, guess what? Now they've doubled their size, and then they can take that power and they can go and take somebody else's country away, and now they've tripled in size. And then they can, and so eventually what happens is they take the whole world. You've got to stop them so that they don't ever have enough power to take over the super nations. Because otherwise, guess what? If you let it go unchecked, ISIS would be running our country. Syria would be running our country. Yeah, because those who do not study history are destined to repeat it. Yeah. And we developed the United Nations to prevent that sort of thing from happening again. It's an allied force that keeps peace on the planet. And if and to expand on yours, those who did not study are morons. But they go around thinking they know everything.
They went to free college.
They didn't do that. They just have some idea in their head of the way it works, and that's the gospel as far as they're concerned.
They found it on the internet.
It must be true if it's on the internet. I'm telling you right now.
The Podgram with Tom and Christie.
They're still at it.
I'm walking two people talk about nothing.
Join the conversation. 855-PODGRAM.
24 in front of the hour right now on the Podgram, and we're more than halfway into the show, and I haven't even started my bitching yet. And so it's terrible. That's okay.
Well, I have one more item on a military note.
Okay, sure.
The world is a little sadder today because we lost R. Lee Ermey.
Oh, anybody but that.
And you say R. Lee Ermey, he is the actor known for his Golden Globe nominated role as the intimidating drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
He is gunny. And a lot of kids know him because he was on SpongeBob. He did a lot of voice work. He was in Apocalypse Now. He's very accomplished, but most people didn't realize that he got his start by being plucked directly off of a Marine base. I mean, like Stanley Kubrick, after he had been in the Vietnam War, he served in the Vietnam War from 1961 to he was in the Marine Corps from 61 to 72.
Yeah.
He spent 2 years as a drill instructor. So he's very accomplished in the military, served his country, and then found a second career as an actor.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I mean, a lot of people know him by face, but don't really know him by name. He did a lot of commercials. He did a lot of really iconic, indelible characters. And he was really special to me because my dad absolutely loved him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I loved him. And, on a sad note, gone forever.
Yeah.
If we can get to it, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I have a list of everybody, like notably, that we've actually lost just since 2018.
Yeah. It's been a big list. It's a big list, too. We've lost a lot of people.
I mean, John Mahoney. Let's see. Who else is on here? Jerry Van Dyke, R. Lee Ermey, Stephen Bochco, Stephen Hawking. I mean, wow. Billy Graham.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
The list is growing.
Well, I think, the thing is, as we get older, and I think our parents probably went through this too, and their parents, as we get older, iconic people in our lives, entertainers, whatever, they are getting older as well. And they are older than we are because we grew up watching them. And so now they're starting to die off. I don't think that more people are dying this year than last year or 20 years ago. I just think we notice it more because they're people that we watched.
Yeah. I mean, Neil Armstrong. There's just too many people.
I know.
So
I wanted to show this.
Rest in peace, Gunny.
Yeah. I've been meaning to show this for a couple of weeks because Jenny drew me a picture on an index card. I showed it to you already. And she came and she was crying and she slapped it down. I said, "What's wrong?" She says, "Well, it's not any good." But I want to show you this picture right here that she drew for me.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so sweet.
I know. And so it's going to live here in the studio. Yeah. She drew a picture, gosh, when she was just a little bitty girl of a stick figure, and she wrote "Dad" under it, and she gave it, and I still have that. And that's matter of fact, when the storm came and the tree came down and destroyed the studio, it was in here, and that was the first thing I went looking for was that.
Aw.
Because everything else I can buy, but I could never have that picture made again.
One of the things that I absolutely hold the most dear to me right now, like the thing that I think I would go running for in the event of, my dad, when he passed away, I was handed a file folder.
Yeah.
And it had my name on it in his handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was full of everything I had done or accomplished since I had started school and before.
Yeah.
And there was one particular thing, and it was a handprint and a poem that I had done in like kindergarten.
Was it the one that said, here's a handprint you can keep forever that you're not cleaning off of stuff or something like that?
No, it was, and it was like in the shape of mistletoe, and it is just the absolute sweetest thing. I don't remember making it. I don't remember doing it.
I got a similar one from one of my kids that it was a handprint, and then there was a thing it wasn't a poem. It says, through my life, you're going to spend a lot of time cleaning these up from places and this, that, and the other. Here's one that you can keep. And I just, gosh.
The sweetest thing ever, that it's all frayed on the edges and the ribbon is so brittle.
Yeah.
It's curling ribbon, but that my dad has kept this.
Yeah.
For 35 years.
Yeah. In my closet, I have what I call the crying box.
Yeah. This is like the crying folder.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, before I ever had kids, I was a tough bastard. I didn't cry about anything. I didn't care. No emotions, no feelings. I could have probably been bipolar. I don't know. But I didn't really care about much of anything. I was just Johnny Tough Guy, which isn't entirely true. Because those who really knew me well knew that I was pretty emotional, that I do care about things. But I'm going to tell you right now, once my kids came along, everything changed.
Yeah.
I could walk through Sears and look. We walked through the baby clothes section when Mel was pregnant, and the theme for Emily was going to be a giraffe, right? Which turns out that was pretty appropriate. We find out later on, yeah. She's the tallest kid in her school. Anyway, so, but all of these clothes, these little onesies and these little footies and all these little things, they all had eyes on them. Baby clothes are made for the parents to tug on their emotions. I'm fully convinced, because a kid could care less if it's got eyeballs on it. What do they care?
Yeah.
They don't even know what eyeballs are yet. But man, when I was walking through this, like, I was like crying like the cowardly lion going clothes shopping for my kid. I was like, everything changed. I just turned into a big mush ball, and now, and here we are, 4 kids later. Steve, he's 3. And, when I see him outgrow the favorite jammies that I had that were passed down to each kid, it's like, oh, he can't wear those anymore. We're going to have to put them they got to go in the crying box. And he's toting around this little lamb. My buddy Mike, he's a Jewish fella, but he's a classy guy. He gave Emily for Christmas this little stuffed lamb who became named Lammy. I wish I could be the kind of person that remembered other religions' holidays and did something for my friends of other faiths. I can't even remember people's birthdays.
I know.
I'm terrible about that. Doesn't mean I don't care about you. It just means that's not the wavelength that I receive.
Sometimes if it weren't for Facebook, I
know, right? And so my sister used to be really good at sending out greeting cards for every occasion. And of course, her husband works at a print company. So they always had these cards with their pictures on them and, neat things to send out to people. And I always felt like a dog because I never sent anything to anybody, So there was a point I was making with that, and I don't really remember what it was. The Lammy. He gave Emily this little stuffed lamb, and of course, he doesn't shop at like Walmart or Big Lots or any of those places. He shops at the good places, and this lamb has lasted 14 years through 4 kids, and it was every one of them. It was their favorite toy. They took it outside, rolled in the dirt with it, stepped on it, chewed on it, licked it. It's been to the washer a million times, forgot it outside in the rain, mud puddles, laid in the car. This poor lamb has been through more crap, and it still holds together. Now, if this was a Walmart toy, it would have been gone years ago. This thing's, it's flat. All the stuffing is matted down so hard that it's just, Mel's like, I got to do surgery. I'm going to have to open it up and put more stuffing in because it's flat. It's stained. It's just scaggy looking.
Lammy's got a meth problem.
Lammy is just scaggy at this point. But Steve carries it around. It's his favorite toy, and he will not go to bed unless he has Lammy. And the poor thing is just beat. So thank you, Mike, for the one toy that every single one of my kids loved with all their hearts because it's so cute, and they all carried it around under their arm, and it's just so cute. Jenny carried it around, and Emily. It was just so cute the way they did it. Travis has a couple of stuffed toys that he really likes. One of them is this great big tree frog, big colorful blue and gold with big red eyes, and and he named it Lick. He named the tree frog Lick. And he also liked, have you ever seen those? I don't even know who buys these because they're so damn big. Nobody's got room. These stuffed bears that are like 5 feet tall. You usually find them like around Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
and
or
these,
like at carnivals.
Big bears. Yeah. They're these absurdly large stuffed teddy bears, right? Travis has a collection of them, and he lays on them like body pillows, and he sleeps with them. The first one was named Barry. He's got one named Rosie, but he loves those things, and he lays on them, and they've been well loved on. And when it comes time to retire them, it's like, oh, I don't want to throw it away.
Yeah,
I can't throw it away. What am I supposed to do with it?
Well, I have sentimental boxes.
Yeah, but try to stuff Barry into a sentimental box, much less Barry and Rosie and the other one.
I have totes, and I have a smaller tote, not like the big 40-gallon ones, but like I have a sentimental tote that I had that's like stuff from each of their school years.
Yeah.
And they're growing in the attic.
What's funny is my kids will bring me so that they will remember the crying box exists, and they'll spend all day Saturday bringing me papers and drawings and coloring book pages that I could put in the crying box. It's like, you don't understand.
Because that's good, Daddy. It's good.
Yeah. You got to understand. I pick what goes in the crying box. I can't say every single thing you ever do.
My daughter does that. She brings me, here's the latest, which I got to admit, this one's good.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Unicorn. Let me zoom on. Can we zoom in on that? Yeah, there we go. Yes. That is cool.
Yeah, baby. That is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm digging the unicorn. Yep.
I know.
Now, and
she whipped that out like in 2 seconds before we left to go run some errands yesterday.
Now, and do yourself a favor that when you come across things like that you want to take a picture of it with your phone and keep a digital picture of it, because if, for God forbid, some reason, some disaster strikes, house gets broken down, burns down, something happens, if you have a digital copy somewhere, you can always get it back. And don't leave it on your phone. Like, put it up on your, like the cloud or something. Or
there
whatever.
You go.
But what qualifies this picture right here as a crying box item is that she randomly did this for no reason other than to draw a picture for me because she was thinking of me. That's what qualifies this index card with me. Boy, I seem to have lost a lot of weight in this picture. That's good.
Yeah, baby.
That's good. And she's upset with the picture because she thinks that she could have done better. I said, no. It's perfect the way it is.
I told Phil I was going to shame him. I'm like, I'm so calling your ass out. You're going to be lucky if I don't call you and call you out.
What did he do?
Okay. So Saturday I had to take Andy to urgent care.
Yeah.
And I had to go myself. It was a double visit.
I see.
And I had been putting off this particular visit because I was on the edge. I wasn't sure whether it was an issue or not an issue.
Yeah.
So Andy, we went out to dinner with friends Friday night, and she's a klutz. I love her, but she's a klutz.
Yeah.
And she's going to get in the car, and she shuts her leg in the car door.
Ow.
Like right at the knee. So she's like, Mom, my leg hurts. My leg hurts. My leg hurts. Okay, so do you want to go tonight? No, I don't want to go tonight. All right, so what am I going to do? So if it still hurts in the morning, we'll go get it looked at. So here we are tomorrow morning. We're going to get it looked at.
Yep.
So we go to urgent care, and they say, oh, no. You have to call the sick line, and then they make you an appointment.
At the walk-in clinic?
For pediatrics, only for pediatrics.
I see.
So I thought I had a urinary tract infection.
Yes, I remember that.
So I go to urgent care and I said, okay, we both need to be seen. And he says, well, you have to call the sick line for her. And I said, well, here's the deal. You're going to get a 2-for-1. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to do my urine sample. And then we're going to go over there. We're going to get her completely done.
Yeah.
By the time that debacle's done, my lab should be back.
Right.
Then I'm going to scoot in here, get my stuff done, get my script, and out the door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, in the meantime, my husband has been texting and blowing up my phone. How's she doing? Is she okay? What's going on? Is she fine? And I'm like, we just left the house 10 minutes ago. I don't know.
It's funny.
So finally, I call him. I'm like, he just sends me a text, right?
Yeah.
Call, no answer.
Yeah.
Call,
Yeah.
no answer. Call, no answer.
Yeah.
Fine. I give up. I go in.
Yeah.
Bring my phone with me, of course, because I don't want to leave it with Andy.
Yeah.
I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do what's called a clean catch. I'm not going to go there because it's kind of personal.
If you don't know what it is, you're not old enough.
I get done with that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to wash my hands.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about that, you don't pull up your underclothes until you wash your hands.
Yeah.
So there I stand, pants around my ankles, trying to wash my hands. Bring, bring. And it gets louder. Oh, Jesus, Philip.
Yeah.
Bring, bring. Bring, bring. Bring, bring. Oh!
Yeah.
Hello. How's she doing? Is she okay? I saw you called. Philip!
Yeah.
She's going to have an x-ray, Phil.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so they went ahead. They went ahead and did the you do me and then do her at the same time kind of thing. It worked out.
Yeah, it worked out absolutely perfectly. I had an infection, and they said, "Wow, why'd you wait so long?"
and at the same time, they're saying, and would you like a job for organizing the way we do things around here? Because
they're like, you're an air traffic controller, aren't you? But her leg is fine. She's good. They said she just bruised it.
You don't know anything about Christie, but she has these wonderful organizational skills. She has the ability to, from 900 miles away, make things happen that need to happen just with an utterance of, you know what I could use? You know what I need? And then I get a call back. And she says,
and then a light bulb goes ding.
Yeah. And then I get a phone call back in like 10 minutes. Okay, listen, you need to be over at such and such location on this street, ask for this person, and they've got what you need. And I talked them down to 50%, and they've got it on the counter waiting for you to show. All of this just based on, you know what I could use? You know what I'd like to have?
And you have to be very careful what you tell me.
Yes.
Like, I love the smell of tangerine.
Yeah.
No, I don't. By the way, I don't. I'm just using it as an example. But if you say something that you really like or you really love, I go, ooh, I stick this in a file somewhere in my little brain.
Yep, you do.
I can't tell you what I had for breakfast this morning. Like right now, I can't tell you if I had breakfast this morning, but
right.
I can tell you that somewhere 16 years ago on a Friday, while we were sitting on a bench in the middle of a park in the middle of nowhere, you said you liked tangerine.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I can do that. I will pull it out of nowhere.
Now, see, I can remember stuff like my friends' phone numbers when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I can't remember, where I'm supposed to be this afternoon. I've got to have, when Melanie says, hey, on your way home from the salvage recycling auto yard, God forbid I can't call it a junkyard, on your way back, would you mind stopping off at Lowe's and picking up 2 items? Honey, I'm happy to do it. You got to text it to me, though.
Mm-hmm.
So then she'll text me and maybe even add something in. A third item. Pack of smokes. Can you give me a pack of smokes as well? And I'll think that I already know everything that she wants because I remember her telling me. And I don't look at the text. And so I get home and she's like, where's my chokes? Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't read your text. Well, why did you make me text you? Because I knew I could remember those two items. Those two things. And I remembered them. And I was proud of myself that I was able to go into Lowe's and there were two items. And I remembered, look, glue. And she says, we need like a cup of glue. So get me enough to get a cup of glue. So what did I do? I'll just get the gallon.
See, now Jen and Jim have this really cool app.
Yeah.
On their phone. It's like Microsoft List Organizer or something like that. But it is a really cool app. And
yeah,
as you purchase things, you just tick the little thing and it takes it off the list. Yeah. Well, they have synchronized lists so that he can go in and add things. She can go in and add things from her phone or from his phone.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty of it is that if he thinks of something while she's at the store, she can add things to the list or he can add things to the list.
Yeah.
Well, she'll be almost done and boink, pickles appear on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got an app like that I use for my working. I think it's called Notepad is what I think it's called. I don't remember. But anyway, if I put it on one device, it shows up on all my other ones that are synchronized. Now, here's something cool. If you're a Gmail user, Android is Google's product. And so it integrates very well with all the Google products. And when you first log into your smartphone, the first thing you have to do that it wants you to do is it wants you to log into a Gmail account so that it can synchronize your phone list and it can synchronize this and that and the other thing. Well, so what I've done is I have my Gmail. Mel has her Gmail. And then we have a third Gmail that we all install. So when she puts something on that calendar, I get it too. I know crap I got no business knowing. I got stuff, I get warnings for stuff that's not even part of my gig. I'm not the flea guy, although I'm covered in flea bites from her dog. But I get notifications. Today is flea medication day. Today is this thing. Today is that thing. Emily's this. But the cool part is that I get warnings about stuff that I really didn't even know about. But then I know after seeing the warnings, like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely dragged into that. She doesn't even bother to tell me what she's putting on the calendar. And then I'll see it pop up. It's like, oh, I guess I better start making plans that I'm going to do that. Funny, I thought I was doing this weekend, but I guess I'm doing this other thing. But it's cool because she doesn't have to fight with me. And, I told you. No, you didn't. Well, see, it's on your calendar, and now it's on my calendar. And you can...
I have a master calendar on the wall. I have one of those desk calendars.
Yeah.
Like the ones that you stick on the I have one of those on the wall, and then I have the school calendar under it.
Yeah.
And then Phil thinks this is hilarious. I have a box of crayons.
Yeah.
And I color code the calendar with crayons.
Crayons. Oh, see, Melanie's like that. She's graduated up to highlighters.
But I like my crayons. It's just something about the texture.
They got to be Crayola too.
Event, I have a 24 box. So every event, everything has its own color.
24 box. You're such an amateur.
No, but see, a 24 box will fit right in the side drawer.
Yeah.
It's manageable. I don't get overwhelmed with too many color options.
Yeah.
Because you give me a 72 box and like my brain is going to be like, I mean, I will be like,
you'll have subcategories off of categories.
I will not be able to make a decision. A 72 box will blow my brain.
I bought, now our kids have this bucket of crayons, and it's basically the remnants of every box of crayons that we've ever bought since Emily was born. And there's, there's a bunch of like half pieces and all this stuff. And so
you melt together and make little ornaments and
we bought Emily I'm not going to say we, I had nothing to do with this. Bought her
a wonderful wife.
Yeah. A crayon maker where you take the remnants of your crayons and you put them in this thing that heats them up and shapes them back like crayons again. Yeah. That's just one more thing to get in the carpet. Right along with the Easy Bake Oven. Thanks for that.
I have one of those on the floor in there.
Yeah. That's our gig for today. Sorry. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll see you back here again on tomorrow. I think sounds pretty good for me. Have a great day, everybody.
The Podgram, copyright 2018, Big Tower Media. So don't be stealing our stuff.